Hey, it's Mark from Stock Pursuit again. I'm going to go through some charts here and sectors and touch on as much as I can here, maybe in about 10, 20 minutes, because I'm trying to get this video out before it's too late. Because I just got back in a while ago, and I didn't look at the market much today. I didn't make any trades really, and I just kind of been going through what's been happening here in the past like 30 minutes or so. So I'm just gonna try to keep this one short and then look at as much as I can while I get caught up here. And I'm just looking at some major things. Like I saw the RWLK. Like I've been talking about this one for a while now. This bull flag. It's uh it's had this bull flag for a while, and it's just keeps running up along this trend support. So the setup's still there for a bull flag because it's actually looking pretty good today because it moved a little higher and it's still holding that trend support. So as long as that trend support holds, the bull flag's there, and it's looking pretty good now. Like I think we might have to see the market run along with this one too, because it's pretty small cap. So, but that's kind of a good thing because we saw the Russell was up today too. The Russell 2000 is just popping up above an old trend support that I had, but you can see it better. I really like what you see with the actual futures and the sells here, and they're looking really good. Like the Russell 2000 is outperforming today. It was up one and 3/4% versus the Nasdaq. Looked like it was pretty much flat today, and uh, a lot of other sector ETFs were pretty flat, just barely up. So that's kind of what the bulls have wanted to see is the Russell kind of catch up. But there's some reasons that the Russell 2000 hasn't been performing like like the other sectors is because there's just a lot of banks, a lot of smaller banks in there that haven't done so well with the rate increases and the flight to yield because a lot of people have been taking their money out of banks to say the least. You know, as an understatement, the past couple of years as the Federal Reserve raises interest rates. So they've been chasing yield, and it hasn't been at most of the banks. So the Russell is kind of negatively affected by the amount of bank exposure in that index. But if we see that catch up, that could be interesting, and maybe this got something to do with it could be the Federal Reserve changes their path here with the rates. So we'll see what happens later on this week. The Fed chairman's given a press conference later in the week, and the Fed funds rates announcements this week too. So, but looking at the technicals here, the Russell is really strong because it broke through that downtrend here. It broke up, and then it's just held this channel level there, this uptrend level, and it held that major level there, and it just keeps on blowing through these levels that I've drawn up. Like these levels go back a good ways. Like this teal one went back into like August, and these were kind of the last levels that had to hold before we get into territory of the Russell going back to the lows or breaking down, which you don't want to see in a bull market, right? Because you do want some small company participation because small companies are the major employer in the United States too. Like most of the employment's through small companies, small businesses, and family businesses and stuff like that. So it's looking really good. Like I think if we get a breakout over this, like about over 2030 on the Russell futures, then it's off to the races. Like this looks like a bull flag right there, and then the chart's looking really good. So if we get over 2030, which it looks like they're gonna push it, then we got the highs. I think it's gonna test the highs, probably break out. At least it's gonna test. So it's probably a couple more days of uptrend there. But we'll see what happens. Like there's a lot. The Federal Reserve, like I was saying, meets on I think it's on Wednesday, it's like it's in a day or two, and that's a big deal. Like people really underestimate how much the Federal Reserve controls the economy. Like the people say the president controls the economy or blah, or what, so other stuff. But it's really the cost of capital and federal funds rate. Like the Federal Reserve has been controlling the economy since 1913 pretty much. So that's what I'll say on these indices here. So I didn't look at ES yet, but everything's still holding in there. Yeah, the S&P 500 looks really strong too. These are the actual futures, and these are looking really good still. And yeah, a lot of bull setups are still there. Like the uranium stocks are still hanging in there, and I think they're probably gonna have the market go up too. It looks like there's not a lot. I'm not seeing a lot of stuff that's going up without the market, but those charts look pretty good still. Like they're still just hanging in where they were in these flags. So here's the sector ETF. It's just printed a hammer today, and it still looks like a bull flag. Like a lot of these look like bull flags still, but we'll see. Like they might go sideways. Like these things have had a tendency to go sideways for a long time too, like in December. So I guess they're just really slow. So we'll see what happens with those. But a lot of these are going to be really nice if the market continues here in these indices. But yeah, the biotech is what I really want to talk about because I just noticed those just came back with force. And the ARQT, like this is my list that I made. I cherry picked this list weeks ago. Might have been even a month ago at this point. It was a long time ago. It was when the sector started really moving, or the industry started moving. And I have another watch list of biotech too, because they're just really moving there with healthcare. And that was kind of one of the outperformers. And then so the ARQT, it's just been a monster, and I took my eye off these for a couple days, and it looks like I missed a lot of stuff here. Like the ARQT's huge. ADCT was up 20% today. Huge breakout. It's been up 3 days in a row now. Broke out. That was one of my favorite ones. And XERS is trying to reclaim that trend support there, this lower level there, that lower line. Looks like it might do it. It looks like this still could be a consolidation because that sell volume was pretty light. And CRVS, not so much. Great. The EVGen doesn't look too good now either. Looks like it took out that trend support. Yeah, that one doesn't look good either. CLSD is holding a level there. Whoa, man, the AKBA has been crazy too. I think I have positions in one or two, in at least one or two of these ones that are still moving. I bought some shares in some of them too, but I don't have that account pulled up right now, so I'm not sure. But because I have a lot of different portfolios. Like I have an options portfolio and like a long-term, shares. So, but that one's a monster too. Some of these have calls, like the AKBA. I think that one has calls because it's a big volume trader. Traded like 3 million shares today. Usually you can tell if a stock has options just based on the volume. Like it's usually over a million. Trades over 1 million shares a day. There's probably some liquidity there in the options. Yeah, some of these don't look so good, but the EYEN came back today too. That was huge volume today on the EYEN, the EYEN. Wow, I just reclaimed that trend support there. That's a shocker there. Yeah, that one looked like it was done and then just reclaimed. So it's kind of that's like a failed signal actually. Like this one's got some momentum in its favor because any shorts got trapped there. If somebody shorted it on the breakdown, like if they shorted it here, they're pretty trapped. Because it looked like it was pretty much done, you know, on these days here. Well, that must have had some news because that's a pretty huge move, 23% today. I just want to check that because if it was up on news, it's probably a catalyst. I think this thing can keep going. It looks like a lot of people are interested. They're still talking about these tech stocks. And I think the data centers, like the way to play it safe is just to be long the hardware, you know, like chip maker, like Nvidia and the data center stocks, cloud. Their cloud's still huge. I mean, they really can't get enough of this stuff. Like there's even more need for storage and cloud than ever, I think now. So the EYEN we had, I'm trying to figure out why it was up so much. There's no news feed in Yahoo. Usually Yahoo's pretty good at having some major news stuff. That's interesting. Looks like it was up after hours too. It was up 2% after hours. Yeah, that's wild. I kind of wasn't sure about this Biotech. I thought they maybe were done, like the momentum slowed down, but let's look at my other watch list too, because that one, I had some good ones on that one too. Yeah. Yeah, look at the TLPH. TLPH broke out again. That one had a big level that it held. It's still holding. ALRN. Wow, ALRN's going crazy. Yeah, this was the one that I said was it could possibly be like the NKTX because it had that big spike. Because it looks like the NKTX chart. So the NKTX, I actually found this one before the second run. Like I found this one like back in here. You know, it was like $2. It was like no, I think it was like $3 is when I found it on this pop there, because it had that big spike up. And usually when a stock has a big spike day like this, where it was up, you know, 30% or something, that means it has a tendency to go do that in the future. So you kind of like to see that in charts, and you can't really. It's not really. Well, I guess it is like a statistic you can scan for, but it's easy to see in the charts too. And then, so lo and behold, it did the same thing again, another spike day like it did back here, like I was saying. And then, so that was the big day. It was like up to $10, and then it bull flagged. Like that's a bull flag. I knew that thing looked like a flag too. And because I haven't been watching these Biotech the past couple days, but that flag's breaking again, which is crazy because they're already up to $10. But like I'm not interested in chasing this one for sure. Like it's more likely to go down from here, but you never know. But I think the odds are it's going to go down from here. And a lot of times you see Biotech, they spike up and spike down pretty quick. You have to really take profits in them because they never tend to stay up for that long. Yeah, I mean there's just so many of these Biotechs still going. The CLRB had a good chart too. I saw that one. Oh wow. Yeah, I was looking at that one like yesterday. The CLRB had this. It's got this channel that was in right here, and just broke out. So this one probably will follow through still. It probably has some more room, some more left. I think that's yeah, it's like almost a 2-year breakout. So 52-week high. Had a really good base form there. Took out. Looks like these levels actually go back to. that's pretty wild if it goes back to there. Like the more you look at charts and then look at their history, the more you find major levels that just miraculously hold, right? But there's no miracle, it's just the way it is. So that was a level there, and then it found it there too. And yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's the exact level on the support there too. So like some people don't think technical analysis works, but look at that. See, it found that level all the way back from 2022 in May. In May and June, it found some buyers, some probably institutions just bought up a bunch of shares, you know, there at that price, and then they tried to buy it again there, but something happened, and then that was the support level again, and that held. So it's a really good chart. Like that's kind of like what I like to see a lot now is this rounding bottom. It's a nice rounding bottom. See, it's got good technicals. But I'm not sure what the deal is with this one. Like, cause I can't keep track of all these all their drugs and stuff in these companies. But a lot of times I put them out on Twitter. I put it out on Twitter or X, and people fill me in, and they just because a lot of people follow certain ones of these really closely, so they know all the drugs, all the dates and stuff, and all that. Because there's a lot to compact to, like, you know, with biotech there's a lot to take in, you know, a lot of information. Stem. Yeah, but those ones I just highlighted still look pretty good. I mean, were really good. That's an understatement. So what else did I want to look at? Yeah, the oil's down a little bit today, but still got some momentum there. And I've been following the marijuana cannabis stocks too. Like these have had pretty good relative strength when the market's kind of been slowing down a little bit here. The MJ's got this uptrend channel. It's at the top of it. Like I was expecting a pullback just based on this channel. I think it's probably gonna pull back if it doesn't just get huge Momo. And the other one's at MSOS. Yeah, this one's looks like it's threatening to take out these highs here, and it looks like it's getting really close to closing at a 52-week high. Shit, that probably is a 52-week high. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it closed over that high there. So this one has a lot of momentum too, because there's been a lot of news with the cannabis regulation. Like a lot of states are making it less of a crime, or like they changed the class of drugs from, I think it's from a class 1 to a class 3. Like I'm not super well versed on that stuff, but it's like they're basically, and the gist of it is they're making it less criminal. So cannabis would be like a Tylenol or something, you know, instead of you know, like cocaine or something. So that has potential, because that's a trend that's kind of been picking up now, is these other states, and even, well, it's actually the federal government. The federal government is looking to push to make it less criminal too, like decriminalizing in a way. Like that was the Biden administration had a goal for that, so they're pushing that. Yeah, I think that was mostly what I wanted to talk about. Just those major things that I saw, especially the biotechs. And I haven't looked at my scans yet, so I'm still gotta go through those. But I'll put out on my Twitter anything interesting that I see. So if you don't have a Twitter, I recommend just signing up because I put a lot of good stuff on there, and other people do too, and they have really good audio spaces too. Sometimes, like most of them aren't really good on for finance audio spaces, but they have a lot of spaces out there, like audio conference calls. So that's my Twitter is like my YouTube stock pursuit with the underslash. So if you search for stock pursuit, it shows up. And stock pursuit's my website. It's the stockpursuit.com, and I've been writing articles and following markets for a long time since well since the 90s. In the early 2000s I got interested in it, and then but I've been doing the stock pursuit website blog for since 2006 pretty much. Like it had a different name in 2006, but that's when I started like doing articles and stuff. So that's my Twitter. So I'm really active on there, so I recommend checking that out. And you can hit the notification bell up there so you get all my tweets or posts. And I think my Nasdaq short it's probably not going to work out here, but like it's still fairly weak. I mean, it still has momentum gone, but we'll see. Like it's really not easy to pick a side here, either long or short on a lot of stuff, but the setups are there for a lot of longs, like I was just going over. And I haven't looked at my short watch list in a while, but I think I'm going to just try and focus more on these supernovas, because I've been making a lot of trades that are kind of outside my wheelhouse with like bonds and stuff. So I'm just going to keep looking for supernovas for shorts. And the charging stocks are down so much, like it's so easy for them to bounce here. And this BFRG was a supernova. It's like an AI, but I'm not sure if they're even an AI. It's like it tends to run and then crash. So like it ran back in April last year, and it ran again. And I guess I haven't been as focused the past couple days on these charts because I usually go through all my watch list, but this one broke down today. So, but it looks like it's still a good setup for a short because it's the first like serious breakdown day. Well, yeah, I looked at it here and it's so choppy. Like this thing is like it pretty much went sideways for like 4 days, but it looks like it decided the way it's going to go now. But there must be a lot of people shorting it, so I'll have to check it out for like the options for puts. And I've been looking at these Bitcoin miners too, but some of the charts don't look so good because Bitcoin's kind of bouncing here. But yeah, it looks like CIFR found a level there, and this is not a really good chart on that one. Yeah, it just still looks like the top was in on like you look at the sell volume, like the sell volume on these, the top here is really high. Like there's a lot of selling going on. Yeah, I think none of these look really that good, except well, the NE just broke that downtrend. See, the NE doesn't have. There's not a lot of sell volume on these days that were like the top, so like it only traded 4 million shares in that day. So I think as far as these go, like the NE, the ANY look okay, and the CIFR, just because it held that level, but that volume there is concerning, but it did reclaim, so looks like they might have trapped. It might have trapped the shorts there again, actually, because this one has a high short interest. This is like the CIFR is usually one of the higher shorted ones. It's like a 20-30% short interest, so or percent of the float. So that one's got potential to squeeze, but I'm not like, to me these things just look like they're done for a while. The way they came down so fast. I mean, it's never really held a run before. I mean, you can see back there it spiked and crashed again. The shorts just like to get all over these, but it could be good for a squeeze. But it's got to really get some momentum again. It's got to break over like the highs yesterday or today. But yeah, pretty much the NE and the CIFR are the only ones that look okay, or possibly okay for a setup. So yeah, that's about it. So yeah, I'll just call it a wrap on that, and I'll catch you in the next one.